phase for VERSO time versus HOMEBOIS. VERSO time took game 1 and now the pressure shifts. Can HOMEBOIS respond or will VERSO time build on that momentum? To Groom, after winning game 1, what kind of bans do you expect from VERSO time here?
Well, I'm expecting the bans to be the same, to be honest. As we've seen until now, the bans are almost the same for each and every match. So we're going to see Grog get banned, we're going to see Eve get banned, we might see Fanny get banned, the usual. So yeah, we're looking forward to see if there are actually any target bans happening. This time it's Lancelot, because the first game, Lancelot played a huge part in the win for VERSO. Although VERSO are the ones who actually banned him this time. Are they planning to show us another jungler for this match, or are we going to see something else?
To be honest, for HOMEBOIS, it's like they are now under pressure and they need to take a new plan to stick on it. So we will see new scenarios for HOMEBOIS more than VERSO. VERSO, they are in the resting phase and they will focus on the next step, and maybe they will stick to the plan, like they went with it, or maybe they will continue with the same scenarios or the new scenarios they will make.
Soldier, if you are HOMEBOIS, are you expecting VERSO time to respect ban what worked in game 1, or force HOMEBOIS to show something new?
For VERSO, they need to respect HOMEBOIS, because HOMEBOIS, it's not like other teams. Like HOMEBOIS, they have the macros experience and micros, and we see it like in the group stages. Also VERSO, but VERSO now for the drafting, and we see the last drafts, they have respected HOMEBOIS very, and we see it like they're targeting bans, they are flexible picks, we thought. That's why HOMEBOIS and VERSO, they are respecting each other, and we will see respectful picks and respectful bans for them together.
Yeah, as you said earlier, these are meta bans that we are seeing right now.
Meta bans.
But Groot, we saw what worked in game 1 for VERSO time. Do you expect HOMEBOIS to ban against the strategy or ban specific heroes?
I think they will stick to the plan. I don't think I don't think they will ban specific heroes. They might do that, but I think what HOMEBOIS are going to focus on right now is actually trying to go for different picks to actually minimize the weak points that they had in the first game. But most probably we might see actually similar picks, almost similar picks with slight changes in some roles.
Okay, so first pick is always crucial. Is this what they are picking right now?
So they have a choice. They actually can go for Hilda, or they can go for Ruby. There is Eve, which is actually open right now, but they chose to play it safe, and so they picked Gatotkacha in the beginning. Playing safe is actually also a good choice. But this gives a chance for VERSO to diversify more on the picks of the meta picks that are actually available for them to go for right now.
For HOMEBOIS, they need to change the priorities, and they need to deny VERSO from comfort picks, and they need to let them, or they need to force them to choose the meta picks, and they can control it or they can counter it with it.
But for HOMEBOIS, how much does this first pick, Gatot, define the rest of the draft, you think?
I think going for Gatotkacha, when going for actually meta pick, or giving the opponent team meta picks, they know that most probably they will actually push them to go for these picks. And as we saw right now, Team VERSO actually picked Eve and picked Yuzong, which are both meta picks. So Team HOMEBOIS is focused more on countering those meta picks. So that's what they did right now. So they might go for Selena, and they went for an Alice as well, which is basically a counter to both the picks that VERSO went for. So yeah, HOMEBOIS is doing a great job picking those heroes right now.
To be honest, HOMEBOIS, they are trying to counter the picks, and they are waiting for the VERSO steps to do it, and they will study it on time, and we will counter it in the drafts. because Homeboys, like, sometimes they are winning the drafts, but in game, they have some macros issues, and Verso, they have the advantage to do it, and they can they have advantage to control the map, control the objectives, as we saw in the first game.
Yes, yes.
Good, as these picks come in, what kind of composition is Verso Time building toward?
From these picks right now, I see that actually Verso is still aiming for the late game. It seems so that they're aiming for the late game. But as for Homeboy's picks, mostly I think Selena would be such an annoyance for Team Verso. And since Selena is actually a burst damage focused hero, they decided to go for heavier picks, just like Hylos, which Hylos is mostly unlikely to be chosen in tournaments, but they might be forced to go for that pick, or they might have another strategy or an idea of what they want to do in this match. So we're still going to see the remaining picks to see the full picture, I would say, of Team Verso's strategy.
Soldier, for Homeboys specifically, what ban must happen here to stabilize Game 2?
Like for Homeboys, they need to deny Verso from crowd controls, as we saw in the first game, as Roby, Labu Abu, like they need to deny it, because we saw in the first game for Verso, like they have too much crowd controls, and we need to deny it because we don't need to see the same scenario again and again.
Yeah,
because Homeboys, they need to fix the scenario and they need to play on their scenario, not on their like Verso scenarios.
That is very true. That is very true. And as we can see in this match, actually, when we look at the bans, we have 3 actually, or 4 jungle bans in this match. We have Fanny, we have Yisun Shin, we have Hayabusa, and Lancelot. So these bans are actually going to change on how these teams are going to pick their jungles right now. The choice of jungles right now that we have are kind of limited to
the meta.
To a couple of heroes, I might say. Like we do have Suyo, which is still in open as a jungler, and there are other heroes also. See, right now, as you said, Soldier, Homeboys is actually trying to minimize the crowd control, and that's why they still ban Joy, which is also a crowd control jungler, I would say. So this is going to be such an interesting match. And if they pick Moskov, oh my god, this is going to be...
Wow.
And Vendetta. All right. So actually Homeboys is playing the role of crowd control plus damage this game more than Verso, but still Verso, they do have the crowd control elements, as we have Yves, we have Yuzong, and we have Cloud as well in the gold lane.
To be honest, I like Homeboys. They are trying to deny Verso from some of picks, but for Verso, like they're trying to play around what they have on their hands, because we need to win this game, because we have 1 game left and we will qualify to the next stage.
Yes,
so they are trying to play on the new scenarios. They are trying to make it like a new strategies during the draft, because in the draft now on the paper, for me, Homeboys as in the first game, because they have the priority, they have the advantage more than Verso.
But good, do you think they're drafting for comfort or out of necessity?
I think Verso is drafting out of necessity. They're forced to go for their picks. Although, on the other hand, there is one pick from Homeboys which is going to be a problem for Homeboys themselves, which is Selena. Selena is going to have a very hard time with Claude and with Eve, because they're using their Purify skills. And we have crowd control heroes which are supporting Claude and Eve also. So I don't know what is Selena going to do this match, and Izanami needs to be out of this world to come up with something to face the picks from Verso, to be honest with you. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what Selena is going to do this match in front of Verso.
We will see early tempo from Homeboys, and we will see late games from Verso.
That is very true, yes.
Yeah, this is where the drafts either become very clean or very forced.
Until now, the puzzle is completed, and the game will decide who's gonna win and who's gonna dominate in the game.
But on paper, who won this draft?
For me, Homeboys.
For me, it's Verso.
Oh,
For me,
now,
it's Verso.
now we are different.
Yeah. So yeah, we're excited to see what's going to happen the next match between Verso and Homeboys, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. You know, in those 10-15 minutes, I would say the next 10-15 minutes in this match.
Who will it be? Verso for you,
Verso,
right?
yeah.
And we have Homeboys. here.
Homeboys.
What about you?
I'm gonna play it safe.
All right, no, fair
Who's
enough.
gonna win? She will cheer for us.
Yeah.
All right, drafts are locked in, heroes are selected, and it's time to see if the preparation pays off. Let's send it back to our casters for game number 2.
Here we are. Game number 2 of this best of 3 series already. Boro starting to pressure Daniel. And Daniel gets out, but oh my, a Fredrin versus a Benedetta jungle.
Yeah, man, I'm not sure if what's going to happen here. The sun does come out, and I was going to ask about this specific pick, you know, this Benedetta jungle. And gosh, when was the last time we saw this? Well, I can't recall. I know it's been a minute in my time, you know. It's been a while since we've actually seen that, and you know, it's one of those things where if you really lean into it, it could work, but it's one of those picks that's very risky, and I think that's why that last choice for Verso time, they just went with the Fred. They're like, you know what?
Yeah.
We can play this safe. We can actually dance around these objectives and extend it if we want to, and play into a Claude late game power spike that you know, we should have. And they've got a great front line. They've got a great initiator too. But Castle got the Yuzhong, and that's something that Homeboys is gonna have to work with here. Arrow thrown out there in the mid lane, but nonetheless, no follow through just yet. So I don't know, that's one of my main stipulations with this. I think Verso Time actually has a pretty beefy lineup that can scale into late game really well, but it's up to Homeboys to make this more damage-centric lineup in the early game work for them.
Yeah. The way that I look at this draft from both teams is that Verso Time have created a holistic composition as able as to go to while Homeboys first.
Throne of Ruin with the gleam. Verso Boro gets the turtle, but Zeno's going to fall in the fight. Castle picking up a kill himself, and Reza trying to get away any way he can, but it's a double for Castle. What a start. Boro will fall in exchange, so it's going to be a trade across the board. Objective going to Verso Time. And again, I'm going to say it, every single time we see a Yuzhong get a lead, that's going to be tough to deal with.
In order for Homeboys to take advantage of the fact that they have taken down Zeno, is to invade their jungle. But it seems like Verso Time have dealt enough damage for Homeboys and bought enough time for Zeno to get back onto taking his own side of the jungle. What's really scary about this Benedetta is it's almost a glass cannon in a way. The way that you risk it. It can be strong in the early game if you are on point, but it can also be disastrous if you just keep on dying. So far, Aman has not been showing us he's about to fight.
Well, right now, the Glorious Pathway is just slowing things down so much. Was trying to jump away. Daniel, though, stopped in his tracks, but luckily not enough damage just yet. And that's one of the things about this Verso Time lineup that we were talking about. It's not going to have this early game throughput when it comes to damage just yet. So even though that was a great Glorious Pathway coming out from Boro, they couldn't capitalize on a kill. And so Homeboys getting what they can. I think by the time they transition into this next turtle, they'll be in a pretty good position. Good burn of the flicker there, battle spell down. But, you know, that's one thing. I think they need to fight into the second turtle, and maybe Homeboys can start to build an advantage from there.
Yeah. You see that eventually, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like the invasion coming from Aman, I think this is good. This is the way they can play this Benedetta. Be oppressive, be invasive with Verso Time. And quietly out there, the Verso Time have already built up 1,000 gold lead. It's mainly because of the overreactions coming up from Homeboys. We know for sure that they don't have as good as an early game there is compared to Verso Time. Because we're going to see Verso Time. It's a very holistic kind of draft. A box type strategy that has good early game, good mid game, have a dependable late game. Homeboys, they have a higher ceiling.
Gonna force the fight anyway under the turtle. AOG drops down. rotating happening. Both gold laners staying in the gold lane, but Xeno will get the turtle, and SOD thrown out. Melcutie does take it. He follows through. He's going to get stunned though by Boro.
Oh, no.
Oh, that was not where you want to be if you're Melcutie. An arrow thrown out, at least to cap out something, to take out Castle. They had to shut him down, and Izanami will get that kill.
Yeah, that's definitely just consolation now for Homeboys, because that was a disastrous fight for them. They already lost Turtle, they have lost Reza, have lost Daniel, and then Melcutie tries to go for a fight, did not get any kill for the team. In fact, fed a kill for VERSO Time. I think that was definitely a disastrous moment for Melcutie. The fact that he is a Moskov that does not actually have to go for fights. I mean, you're happy if you can land the SOD and maybe get a kill afterwards, or safely get some pickups. But if you're risking your life by giving away your lane to your opposing marksman as well, you're really not doing a great job. And Melcutie has to really make up for that. Homeboys have lost so much ground in the first 5 minutes because of their bad decisions.
Yeah, I almost wondered what if he just didn't use SOD and just kind of check things out. Definitely wouldn't have had this lead build up even further. Not only that, but VERSO March now has a bit of an advantage against Melcutie, obviously, and as a Claude, you can play into having that advantage against Moskov. Ooh, RWM catching Izanami. Great usage here for Kojic to use that ultimate, capitalize on a kill.
Wow.
Amal might be in trouble. What a petrify! Black Dragon Form going to be used too, and they tries to go and fight this in a 2v1, but Amal will fall as well. Reza, too late to this fight, might just be able to go ahead and stall out that push on the tier 1 top. But Turtle's up, and VERSO Time balloons the lead nearly to 4,000 gold.
How about that juggle coming up from Xeno as well as Castle? I mean, they have spent so much resources, but that was Amal that they were able to take down. This means that this turtle will be free, and that's a perfect word. They will balloon this lead so much.
I like balloons.
Yeah. And it's difficult to pop now. I mean, they do have this Benedetto, but it seems like it's not making the right place now, Homeboys.
Yeah, this is one of the things here, Wolf, is again, they're going to go switch the lanes up. They get more space to work with as the turrets fall down. Oh, Castle might be caught here in a bad position. It's actually still going to be able to survive it with the heals from, again, this Yuzhong kit when you have this. And it helps so much when you have this type of lead, this kind of power in the early game. Now in the mid lane, he's caught once again. Daniel trying to get away, but he can't survive it. VERSO Time taking the pickings here, even though they're revitalized just to top everyone off. And also VERSO Time, they'll make their way towards another turret if they can get if they get the tier 1 turret down in the mid. It's almost nearly a free positioning to deal with the next Lord when it comes up at the first Lord. Wow. They're gonna fight for it. That's exactly what they want to do. Like Dragon Form already going to be used. Amal trying to get to the defense, trying to disengage Reza as well. No one falls. A bit messy, and at least up top, Melcutie will be able to push in a turret up top. The tier 1 finally falls.
Looked to be a really good pincer coming out from VERSO Time. Members of Homeboys were just mobile enough and tanky enough to get out of there. Good news, like I said, Melcutie is able to farm up top. However, Xeno already prepared for the storm. Chastise Pauldron is the second item for Xeno. I wonder if he has his blade armor up right now, because if you combine those two items together, now that is an anti-Moskov item set for Xeno. Xeno does not need to really counter the Moskov as of this moment, because the Moskov is not hitting him anyways, but they have prepared for it. And I wonder if Homeboys themselves are going to punish that. Maybe they can allocate magic damage against Xeno if they can. But let's see.
Fighting for this Lord here. They're going to keep Melcutie down there. Castle is there as well. Not sure if he's actually going to try to force that fight in the 1v1. It looks like he is going to go for the fight anyway. An SOD thrown out. It's going to miss, though. Lord's going to go for the reset, and Daniel is gone. The Black Dragon Form is going to be used. Melcutie's going to lose this 1v1 unless he gets away, and that he does, but his team is getting decimated on the other side of the map as a triple for VERSO March. and Verso Time will now make their way to go ahead and solidify this Lord take, as Izanami can only just throw out Abyssal Arrows to stop Verso Time from going further.
Homeboys might not have faced the Dragon Yu Zhong in that Lord fight because Melt Beauty was fighting up against Castle. Almost died, but fortunately had to flicker. Even after the ultimate and petrifying commitment from Castle was scary that he did not land the SLD, so he cannot get out from the Yu Zhong, but eventually he was able to get out. However, Homeboys, they were taking care of this Fredrin, but they forgot how to control March. March had a triple against Homeboys, and there's so much damage that's coming out from this Cloud already. At 10 minutes in, I would wager he has his ultimate, his 3-item power spike already available. The fact that he was able to take on Reza, and honestly, this Cloud pick coming up from Verso Time is just paying so much dividends. It has good scaling, great damage profile against Homeboys.
Daniel should be able to get away if he has to burn the AOG, and that he does. Chasing him down, they'll get a flicker out from Reza. Right now, Verso Time playing with his 7,000 gold lead. They'll take what they want in the tier 2s. Shields are up. They're going to pop here in the mid and the bottom, and Lord makes its way up top as Verso Time gets ready to potentially end the game with this type of lead, this type of push. I'm not sure if Homeboys is even ready in fighting form to deal with this. Daniel again getting shredded down, and whoa! Goodbye, Amal. He jumps into his own death. The Lord's going to charge into the turret. The mid's already going to fall. Castle leading charge once again with the Glorious Pathway step down. Daniel taking the brunt of the damage. The waves are cleared, though. So at least this, but the push in the bottom. Can they continue on with just one cart minion? Verso Time might give this a try. Another wave in the mid, pushing Daniel once again, bringing brought low. AOG's found to heal up, and Mel Cutie as well. Base takes a little bit of damage here. Black Dragon Form going to be used. They're going to push him off the base. Verso Time sees the win in sight, but they have to manage these waves as Daniel's gone. They get a huge setup, though, but a Blazing Duet's going to be used, and now Amal cleans up Castle. Can he get more? It's already going to be fought for. Amal falls down, unfortunately, and Verso Time sees the win. They're going to go for it. They're going to do it in a flashy way, potentially taking out Izanami, but the waves will push in, and that will be a sweep for Verso Time.
A one-sided game from a draft that Verso Time have built and designed. You can see that the way that they built the heroes that they had in game number 2 was more of let's win in every aspect of the game. Early game was theirs, the game was theirs, and of course we did not even reach the latter portion of the game. It's really played as well. The way that they were as usual. Castle was on point around the neutral objectives. They have punished this Benedetta by not using their side to the jungle and make sure that the Fredrin will have the same amount of levels and farm with the Benedetta despite dying in the first fight. And when they activated the squad, it was way, way too good. Very safe. They didn't have to risk anything. The Claude and the way that they set up for this squad to have a great game was phenomenal. And up until the end, the way that they utilizing the Eve ultimate, I think that was the icing on the cake. All of the Eve ultimate in this game, perfect. Imagine having to play up against Selena, but not get constantly cancelled because of the proper usage of the real world manipulation. Everybody from Verso Time were just on point, man.
Yeah, really, really good there. Again, it's been that's been true, you know, ever since I think a lot more people were able to go ahead and tune into Verso Time in their recent tournament here before Games of the Future, and they stay true to that.
Everybody make some noise! Who is the most talkative person in the group? Amazing. Well done. Congratulations. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, this whole game plan. You guys took the lead in the first 2 matches. How was the performance of the team?
I don't know, we're just playing.
What do you think of your opponents today?
Good.
Is that it? What do you want to tell all the people that have spent, you know, an hour and a half watching you guys?
Thank you.
Amazing. Well done. Verso Time, everybody. Congratulations. Off to the quarterfinals right now. How are you guys ready? Mentally, game-wise, preparations?
Let's see, we're ready.
All right, here we go. He's not the most talkative person in the group, that's for sure. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Verso team, one time. Good luck in the quarterfinals. Thank you for being here with us.
From Verso, but Verso, like, they're dominating from the drafting until the map, until the end of game, because it's a one-sided. Because Verso, like, they know how to play it on macro and micro manners more than Homeboys. Homeboys, they didn't expect that from Verso. They thought maybe we will win one more game and it will be 1-1 and we will have one more advantage. But Homeboys, like Verso, sorry, it was like a surprise from them, and they surprised everyone.
It felt like Verso time were always one step ahead. Okay, looking at the numbers from game 2, because the stats really tells the story here. Goods, can you tell us about the statistics?
Yeah, sure, of course. As we can see, Verso was dominating in the total gold, the towers destroyed, Lord slain, Churchill slain. It shows that they were actually dominant over the entire map. It shows from their picks also and their builds that they were actually more focused on the tanky side of building, and they left the damage for Eve and Claude as expected, of course. And they were protecting them with all they could. That's why Selena had a hard time trying to get to Claude and Eve was controlling the map like never. You know, like I would see Verso Kojic would actually be the MVP again of this game if I'm not wrong. You know,
We will see.
yeah. It's
But
wonderful.
with this statistics, can you explain why Verso time closed this game so efficiently with these statistics alone?
To be honest, for Verso, like, you can just focus on the goal difference between the two teams. Verso have the goal difference between them, and the kills it's 16-4-4.
Yeah.
So they have the objectives difference, they have the goal difference, also they have the kills difference. So Verso, they are focusing on the three important things more than Homeboys. Homeboys, they are trying to defend, they're trying to play on the late game more. They're trying to make it the game late until they will get their advantage, their snowball, their win condition. But Verso, they have the win conditions in the early, they have the win conditions in the mid game, they have the win condition in the late game.
Yeah. And now let's talk about the MVP of game 2, because there were some standout performances there. Let's talk about the MVP. Good.
Yeah, of course. So Verso Castle is the MVP of this match, who played with Yuzong. That's very much, a good choice as an MVP, because he played also a big part. He was actually dishing out a lot of damage, and he was taking a lot of damage in return. In fact, Verso Castle with Yuzong, he's the most one who actually